Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This will be the mod video for the Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale Freddy Krueger based on the third movie Dream Warriors. Now I'm going to be doing the following things. I've already shown you in a previous video how you remove his hat. It's not that hard to do at all. And I need to file down this considerably. I need to cut away this inner kind of mold here that stops you from lowering the hat so that I can lower his hat down lower. And I'm also going to be repainting the hat a nice dark brown. I'm going to try and paint the brown stripes on his jumper into a dark green, and I'm going to be switching out his pants to a black pair, and might possibly have to do some work on the boots. I'm not sure about that, need to do a bit of research. And I might put some wet gloss on his skin and certain sections on his face to make him look a bit more nasty. And I might even do a tiny subtle bit of kind of blood spray with a toothbrush and some red paint, just very mild, maybe not. I'll see how I feel when the time comes. But I'm gonna do a transition, so this is the before any mods, and we'll transition into the after once everything is done and changed, and then I will show you after you've seen the transition into the before and after. I'll show you everything I've done. So I hope it helps any of you out there who are considering doing any mods to this guy. He certainly needs it. So here he is before, and we'll transition into the after. Now here we are after everything is done. Now I have removed a lot of the hard plastic gubbins that are inside that fedora hat in order to get it to sit further down on Freddy's brow. Now you can see a bit of a misshapen effect happening there. That's because I've pushed it down so far onto his head that it's kind of misshapen the hat. So, but there's a good side to this, which I will show you very soon. But let's go through some of the other things that have been done. I went in with let me just get the focus happening here and brighten up the screen a little bit. You can't really see any of the green that I've applied to those stripes. I don't know why. I'd used two different types of ink. I didn't use paint. I used like permanent markers, like thick nib pens, and made the stripes a bit more green, but it really doesn't seem to show up. I mean, I have got this ridiculously bright light shining right at it, so that might be affecting things, but I have tried to make the stripes more green. Yeah, changed out the trousers or pants, whatever you want to call them, to a black pair. They fit really well, and they just make him look a little bit more evil. So there you go, you've got the hat lower down, closer to his eyes. Tried to do what I could with the stripes on the jumper. Don't want to use paint because I don't think that would work. It would end up flaking and just be terrible. And changed out the pants for the black pants. But something really cool happened when I put the original Sideshow Freddy hat, the one that comes with this one, on this figure. So I will show you that now, or perhaps I'll just show you quickly some of the little steps I've taken. I did film some of the modding process with the hat here, so I'll go ahead and show you some of that now, and then you can see the figure with the original Sideshow Freddy hat, because it does make a remarkable difference. Alright guys, I'm using the heater down here to heat up this head, and I'm using a X-Acto knife, I think you call it, or a scalpel, whatever, super sharp knife, and just trying to cut through this hideous thing on the top of Freddy's head. So that's going slowly but surely. Need to warm it up again because I got stuck. It started to harden up again. So yeah, that's how I'm doing it. Heating up the head, and then be very careful. Watch your fingers. I haven't had any accidents yet, but you could very easily have one. So be careful. But we're getting there. Halfway there. Okay, now I've removed the big chunk that was sticking out the top of Freddy's head. I heated up the head with that heater that I have, and I used the super sort of sharp scalpel knife to just gradually cut through this. Obviously once the head heated up nice and hot, it was pretty easy to do. You just have to be very careful with your fingers. Honestly, be very bloody careful. I was very lucky and had no accidents, but you very easily could, and I don't want that to be my fault. So if you're going to try this and you're going to be using a super sharp knife like I did, be very careful, take precautions, maybe get someone who's a bit more experienced to do it for you, or avoid it altogether. So anyway, this is the Sideshow Collectibles Freddy Krueger hat from the first version of Freddy, and I've been curious to know what this would look like on the head sculpt, and now that I have done the mod, I can actually get this down right to the tips of his ears, And I'm going to show you this. I just needed both hands free, so I've had to use a different camera, which isn't quite as good quality, but it does allow me to use both hands. So I just wanted you to see the new head sculpt by Sideshow Collectibles with the old hat from the original figure. So I'll show you that on the figure a bit later on, but it's just really exciting to see that now I've got two hat options. So now I'll show you the one that he actually comes with. And let's put this down for a sec. Okay, so here is the hat that Freddy comes with. And I have had to cut away. You see it got a bit intense. I chipped the paint a little bit there, but that doesn't matter because I'm painting this whole thing brown. That's the next thing I'm going to do, is mix brown and black paint together. Matte paint, no shine. Because this hat is actually meant to be some kind of, it's like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's more of a felt kind of look to me than this kind of like a leather hat. Maybe in one of the movies it was like a leather hat, but I always imagine Freddy to have something a bit more, you know, like this, like material that actually has like ribs in it and stuff. So I cut away all that inside bit that was stopping his head from going any further in. I'm probably going to end up using the original hat, to be honest, but anyway, it's made a little bit of a difference. Okay, so I've taken matte black paint and matte brown paint, mixed them together here to get a darker brown, and then I've repainted the old Sideshow Collectibles Freddy hat, and I've repainted the new Sideshow Collectibles Freddy hat, so they're like a dark brown now, and it's nice that they're two totally different styles and they both fit his head really well. So I have the two options now, and they're both kind of a movie accurate colour now rather than the shiny leather black look, which just doesn't work for me. So that's done. Alright, now here we have the figure, but with the original Sideshow Freddy hat on his head. Now this is not the hat that comes with this Freddy, it's the one from the original old Freddy Krueger figure. So we have changed the pants out for some black ones, they fit perfectly, maybe even fit a little bit better than the ones that came with him. A perfect shade of like that charcoal black. And I have applied various kinds of green ink to the stripes to try and bring out the green in them, make them less brown. It's worked, but for some reason it's really not showing up in this lighting. It just looks black. So, I mean, that's fair enough. But I like this pose. Let me just come back a little bit. Kind of a bit more of a Freddy Part 2 look now, because that hat is more of a kind of Freddy Part 2 kind of style. I don't want to spoil the pose by taking them off. I'm just trying to get you to see there is some green in there now. And it's kind of hard to pick it up. But I'm really liking him with this hat on. This is probably the hat I'm going to use, to be honest, because it will be nice and different from everyone else's. But yeah, that looks really cool. Definitely got a part 2 vibe to it, which I'm liking because that is my favourite look for Freddy. Sick. You know what, seeing as he's reminding me of the Freddy's Revenge, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 Freddy look, I just put him in the "You're all my children now" pose when he crashes the party. Okay, so now I want to add a little bit of gloss varnish to some of these sections of his face here. The more redder, kind of really raw flesh underneath the skin, or the raw meat, shall we say. Let me just pop his head off. That's easy enough to do. And maybe it's not the best stuff to use, but this is what my local art shop had, so that's what I'm going to be using. Let's go ahead and take the hat off. Okay, so I hope you guys are going to be able to see everything I'm doing, but I'm going to be, as you can imagine, concentrating on the head, not the camera. So let me just get a little bit of varnish on my paintbrush here, just a little bit. Don't want to have too much. Now the first bit I'm going to do is this bit on his cheek. Hope you guys can see. But that bit should be nice and sort of wet looking. It's gross, but yeah. Just going to go ahead and keep adding more, just to the more red sections, not the kind of fleshy bits. We'll leave them alone. Let's see, over here. That looks good. It's going to bring him to life even more. Stuff like this. Is there much point doing that bit, considering the hat's going to be covering it? But there you go. Oh, that really is having a nice effect. See the way it kind of shines? Very nice. And his chin. Let me just reload here. There we go, bro. Alright. Is it focus for you? Let's get his forehead. Actually, let's just get this little bit on his brow. Yeah. Yeah, get some more chin action. Maybe on his teeth, to make them look even more shiny. He's literally salivating at the thought of slashing Brez. Ding dong. Should I do his eyes again? Nah, his eyes are wet enough. Alright, so that's looking pretty decent. I like it. Yeah, but it really will bring him to life. Stuff like that always does. I mean, that's why they did this. They really didn't do it so much in the later Freddy films, but especially in the original film, the scene in the alleyway, in the backyard, he looked really gross and wet. And they really sort of moved away from that later on in the films, especially by the time part 4 and 5 happened. There we go, just a little bit. I think that's really gonna... It also makes the sort of more red sections appear slightly more red, because they're sort of shining. I don't think there's any point doing it at the back, is there? No one's gonna see it. But yeah, there you go. So we'll just pop the hat back on for a sec. I think that has... Yeah, that's definitely an improvement. Look at that. Look at that. Whoa. That looks friggin' cool. Yep, highly recommend you gloss up sections of Freddy's face. Very cool. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. I hope some of you will find it helpful if you do decide to do any modifications to your Sideshow Freddy figure. I'll just tell you from head to toe, we've got the original Sideshow Freddy hat. It's been repainted. I have varnished section of Freddy's face and neck to give him a bit more of a wet look, a bit of a shine. But there should be, at least based on what I've seen in the first and second film, definitely has brought out a little bit more life in the figure. Did what I could to try and green up the stripes on the jumper. Doesn't seem to have had much of an effect. I'm not really bothered about that so much. And switched out the original stock pants for some black ones. Didn't do anything to the boots. I did repaint the hat that he comes with. I don't really like it, so I think I'm going to be sticking with the original hat from the first figure. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be bringing you plenty more Halloween themed stuff leading up to the 31st of October. So keep an eye out for that. Let me know your thoughts. Sweet dreams.